The huge Atlantic Ocean, May 6, 1944. The vast expanse of water stretched out endlessly, a silent witness to the unfolding drama. The Atlantic, a crucial battleground in World War II, was more than just a body of water. It was a lifeline, a conduit for supplies, and a strategic chessboard where the fate of nations was decided. World War II was raging. The world was engulfed in a conflict that spanned continents and oceans. The Atlantic Ocean, in particular, was a theatre of intense naval warfare. The Allies and the Axis powers were locked in a deadly struggle for control of the sea routes. The stakes were incredibly high, as the outcome of these battles would determine the flow of vital supplies and reinforcements. Under the waves, a deadly game of hide-and-seek was happening. Submarines, the silent predators of the deep, prowled the waters in search of their prey. These underwater vessels were equipped with torpedoes and stealth technology, making them formidable opponents. The crews of these submarines lived in constant tension, knowing that at any moment they could become the hunted. On one side, the German submarine U-66, a hunter of the deep. The U-66 was a Type IAC U-boat designed for long-range missions. It was a formidable adversary, capable of staying submerged for extended periods and striking with deadly precision. The crew of the U-66 were seasoned veterans, well versed in the art of submarine warfare. On the other, the USS Buckley, an American destroyer escort, protector of the sea routes. The Buckley was part of a new class of ships designed to counter the submarine threat. It was fast, agile, and armed with depth charges and sonar equipment. The crew of the Buckley were determined and well-trained, ready to defend their convoys at all costs. The stakes were really high. The Battle of the Atlantic was a critical campaign, and every engagement could tip the balance of power. The Allies needed to keep their supply lines open to sustain their war effort, while the Axis powers aimed to cut off these lifelines and starve their enemies into submission. The tension was palpable, and every decision carried immense weight. The outcome of the whole war depended on the battle for the Atlantic. Control of the sea lanes was essential for the movement of troops, equipment, and supplies. The Allies' ability to launch offensives and sustain their forces hinged on their success in the Atlantic. The Axis powers, aware of this, were relentless in their efforts to dominate the ocean. Every supply ship sunk, every ship lost, brought the enemy closer to winning. The loss of a single ship could mean the difference between victory and defeat. The convoys, often consisting of dozens of ships, were prime targets for enemy submarines. The sight of a ship sinking, engulfed in flames, was a stark reminder of the perilous nature of these voyages. The crew of the Buckley knew this. They were acutely aware of the stakes and the importance of their mission. Each member of the crew had a role to play, and their lives depended on their ability to work together as a cohesive unit. The camaraderie and trust among the sailors were crucial in the face of such overwhelming odds. They were ready to fight. The men of the Buckley prepared themselves for the inevitable confrontation. They checked their equipment, reviewed their strategies, and steeled themselves for the battle ahead. The tension was thick, but so was their resolve. They knew that the fate of the Atlantic, and perhaps the entire war, rested on their shoulders. The U-66, commanded by Captain Gerhard Seehausen, was on patrol. Their mission to stop supplies from getting from the United States to Great Britain. They were the hunters. But this time the hunters would become the hunted. An American patrol plane with its fancy radar found the U-boat. The message was sent to the Buckley. Captain Brent Abel, a very experienced officer, immediately went to intercept. The chase was on. The Buckley, much faster, got close to the U-66. You could feel the tension. Every man on board knew what was about to happen. Suddenly, a torpedo shot through the water. The U-boat had attacked first. The Buckley shot back. Her deck guns boomed, sending a hail of bullets towards the enemy. One shell hit the U-boat's command center. The battle had started. The two warships circled each other like two wolves in a deadly fight. The Buckley, with its bigger guns, had the upper hand, but the U-boat was clever, dodging and weaving to avoid being hit. Captain Abel knew he had to finish this fast. He ordered a dangerous move, a full-speed charge straight at the U-boat, his plan to ram the enemy and sink it. Section 5. The ramming. The Buckley sped forward, its engines roaring. The crew held on tight. The U-boat, caught out in the open, couldn't escape the charging destroyer. The crash was incredibly loud. The Buckley's front smashed into the U-boat's side, ripping a huge hole in it. The German submarine, badly hurt, started to sink, but the battle wasn't over yet. Section 6, Hand-to-Hand. In the annals of naval warfare, few moments are as intense and personal as hand-to-hand combat. This chapter delves into one such gripping encounter during World War II, where the boundaries between man and machine blurred and raw human courage took center stage. As the U-boat went down, some of its crew climbed onto the Buckley. The scene was chaotic, with the cold Atlantic waves crashing against the hull and the night sky illuminated by the occasional flare. The Buckley, a destroyer escort, had been in pursuit of the German U-boat for hours, and now the battle had come to a head. The U-boat crew, desperate and determined, saw no other option but to board the Buckley in a last-ditch effort to survive. A fierce, close-quarters fight broke out on the destroyer's deck. The sailors, armed with whatever they could find, knives, wrenches, even pieces of broken equipment, engaged in a brutal melee. The confined space of the deck turned the fight into a chaotic scramble, where every move could mean the difference between life and death. The Buckley's crew, though caught off guard, fought with a tenacity born of desperation and training. Sailors from both sides, full of adrenaline and fear, wrestled and punched. The clash of bodies, the grunts of exertion, and the cries of pain filled the air. It was a raw, primal struggle where the only rule was survival. The German sailors, knowing they were outnumbered, fought with a ferocity that matched their American counterparts. Each side was driven by a mix of fear, anger, and the instinct to protect their comrades. The air was filled with the sounds of fighting. The clang of metal, the thud of bodies hitting the deck, the yells and shouts of men fighting for their lives. The cacophony was almost overwhelming, a symphony of chaos that underscored the intensity of the battle. Amidst the noise, orders were shouted and the wounded cried out for help, but the fight raged on, relentless and unforgiving. It was a scene of pure chaos, like something from a much older time of naval warfare. The deck of the Buckley became a battleground reminiscent of the age of sail, where boarding actions were common and hand-to-hand combat was the norm. In this modern era of warfare, such close-quarters battles were rare, making this encounter all the more extraordinary. The bravery and determination displayed by the sailors on both sides were a testament to the enduring human spirit, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Section 7, the Final Plunge. The U-boat, broken in two, sank beneath the waves. The fight on the Buckley's deck was short and brutal. In just a few minutes, it was over. The American sailors, though shaken up, had won, but their victory came at a price. Both sides had lost men. The sea, now quiet, held the bodies of those who had died in the fight. It was a sad reminder of the terrible cost of war. Section 8, Legacy of Courage. The battle between the Buckley and the U-66 showed how brave and tough the sailors on both sides were. It was a brutal fight, fought with skill and determination. The Buckley's victory was a key moment in the Battle of the Atlantic. We still remember this battle and all those who fought in the Atlantic today. What they did helped the Allies win World War II. We owe them a lot. Section 9, Remember and Support. The USS Texas, a symbol of naval prowess and a testament to the bravery of those who served, stands as a beacon of history. This battleship, which saw action in both world wars, is a living museum that tells the story of courage, sacrifice, and resilience. As we remember the past, we also look to the future, ensuring that the legacy of the USS Texas and the valor of its crew are never forgotten. This documentary is partly sponsored by World of Warships Legends. World of Warships Legends is not just a game, it's a tribute to naval history. Through immersive gameplay, players can experience the thrill of commanding historic ships, engaging in epic naval battles, and learning about the rich maritime heritage. By partnering with us, World of Warships Legends helps bring history to life and supports the preservation of naval monuments like the USS Texas. From August 8th to September 8th, 2024, you can help fix up the USS Texas, a historic battleship, by buying a special DLC pack. Every purchase helps. The restoration of the USS Texas is a monumental task that requires extensive resources and dedication. By purchasing this special DLC pack, you are directly contributing to the preservation of this iconic vessel. Your support ensures that future generations can visit the USS Texas and learn about its storied past. Help us keep alive the memory of those who served and gave their lives. The veterans who served aboard the USS Texas and other naval vessels made tremendous sacrifices to protect our freedoms. Memorial ceremonies and plaques serve as a poignant reminder of their bravery and dedication. By supporting the restoration of the USS Texas, you are honoring their legacy and ensuring that their stories are remembered and shared with future generations. Visit the World of Warships Legends website to learn more and to give to this good cause. The website offers detailed information about the USS Texas, the restoration project, and how you can get involved. Whether you are a history enthusiast, a gamer, or someone who values the preservation of our naval heritage, there are many ways to contribute. Explore the site to find out more about the special DLC pack and other initiatives that support the USS Texas. Thank you for your help. Your support is invaluable in preserving the USS Texas and honoring the memory of those who served. Every contribution, no matter how small, makes a difference. Together, we can ensure that the legacy of the USS Texas continues to inspire and educate for generations to come. Thank you for being a part of this important mission.